We were invited to Microsoft headquarters in London for a session on AI agents.
AI is moving from help me with this task to help me with this workflow.
For local businesses, that means AI will not just write emails or social media posts, but it will actually follow up with inquiries, reports, quotes for your customers, give you a bit of customer service help, sales admin, content creation. The list goes on and on.
In this episode, we'll break down what AI agents mean for you and your business.
Welcome back to the AI and Marketing Podcast for Local Businesses, the show that gives you practical, proven marketing advice to help you grow your business right here in the UK. My name's Adam. I'm a best-selling Amazon published author, AI enthusiast and presenter, and founder of www.websitedesigners.london. We've helped businesses generate tens of millions online through smarter design and marketing.
And my name's Josh. I'm the founder of ImproveMySearchRanking.com, a SEO and AI SEO agency based in London, 3-time winner of the UK Search Awards. And over the past 10 years, we've worked with well over 1,000 businesses, generating in excess of £200 million in sales.
So here's why you should listen to this episode and why it actually impacts all business owners. Ultimately, this session is, as I say, we were lucky enough to be invited to Microsoft's headquarters in London. Really cool building, a bit like Google's. And this session was focused on AI agents. To give you context, Microsoft, their kind of key consumer products that people might be aware of are things like Copilot or Microsoft 365, Teams, Excel, PowerPoint. But we're going to talk more about the Copilot and Copilot Studio today.
So businesses often have the same operational problems. They have slow follow-ups, they have lots of missed leads, they have messy spreadsheets, loads and loads of manual administration, inconsistent customer communications, and teams basically just not using AI very well.
Absolutely. So today we're going to essentially translate into plain English, firstly, what an AI agent is and how you can use it for your local business. I'm excited. So most people currently use AI as an assistant, right? Think of ChatGPT, think of Claude, think of Copilot. You ask it to write maybe an email, summarize an article, brainstorm or explain something. It's useful, but the human still does most of the surrounding work. You're asking it to do the stuff. So how does an AI agent differ?
So an AI agent differs because it's built around a workflow instead. So it can take instructions, it can use data, it can follow steps and produce an output. So it could also connect to other tools like emails or spreadsheets, CRMs, calendars, Teams, internal documents. Various softwares now have something called an MCP, which I can't remember what that acronym stands for. Is it something connector protocol?
Yes,
I think
model context protocol,
which I think Claude invented, but lots of people are now using this
spot on
to connect their AI, LLMs, etc., into different softwares.
Yeah.
Humans, of course, should still review important outputs, especially at the start. But that's an AI agent is different because it is built around a workflow rather than just doing a one-off kind of task.
And just before someone else, a smart ass listener corrects us, Anthropic, who Claude obviously and invented Claude, but Anthropic kind of coined the MCP, and you quite rightly said they kind of made it open source so other companies can use it. So forget MCP and APIs but essentially connecting, being able to connect to external tools. So for example, I actually got Claude to connect to my calendar, and it created a calendar invitation in a very accurate format for me on my phone, just from Claude. That's an example of almost as if it's acting as an agent, but not quite, but that's just a little slither, a little taste, I guess, if you like. So, this is a big opportunity, right? It's not just faster writing, it's faster movement through your entire business. So there are 3 stages of AI adoption, and this is what the chap at Microsoft was explaining. You've got, think of it, basic, intermediate, advanced. So base, first stage, basic stage, AI assisting people. We gave you examples of what that might be. The second stage, more intermediate stage, it completes specific tasks. So perhaps I've just talked about one. And then you've got the third, more comprehensive in nature. You get to this stage, it's like God tier, third stage. It supports entire end-to-end processes. We'll talk about each one of those stages now. So the first stage, AI assisting people. We've already given a few examples. This is where most businesses are at now. Staff use AI individually to help them with tasks, writing emails, summarizing documents, etc.
Useful, but not a bit inconsistent. One person may be using AI brilliantly
Yeah.
while others ignore it completely. So there's often no shared process or system or standard. It's just everyone for themselves using AI the best way they possibly can.
Spot on. Stage two, AI completes a specific task. So this is where AI becomes a bit more repeatable. Instead of random prompting, businesses create an agent or a workflow for a common job. So, for example, turning a call transcript into CRM notes or notes for your customer relationship management tool. You're drafting a quote from an inquiry form, summarizing customer feedback every single week, training you that. Or, those are just examples that you can, or drafting a first draft reply to common inquiries. So it's essentially anticipating the process or the task, and it does it for you without you having to ask.
So this is probably the most realistic next step for most small local businesses. It's practical, it's manageable, and it's low risk if humans still review the outputs too.
Brilliant. Third stage, this is what I get excited about. AI supports business processes. So this is more the advanced stage. AI is no longer helping with an isolated task, but it becomes part of a team and how a team operates. So an inquiry comes in, AI categorizes it, AI checks service information, for example, drafts a reply, suggests the next best action, updates your CRM tool, and then a human just approves or adjusts it. So, and then AI will remind the team if no response happens.
So this is where the idea of digital colleagues becomes relevant. Not replacing the team, but supporting the team by doing repeatable, structured work in the background.
And look, businesses shouldn't just jump straight into stage three. You can, absolutely can, if you're but go stage by stage. Stage two, focus on one valuable workflow, and then when you can't get comfortable, go to stage three. So, AI adoption does fail if but just buy the tools, right? Buying AI software is easy, giving 20 quid a month. Changing behavior is more difficult. So many businesses pay for those tools, but the staff don't know how to use them more. And we've done an episode on this already in a bit more detail. So we won't go through too much detail, but the result um, is occasional experimentation, perhaps, rather than actually transforming the processes.
So some of the most common problems may be there's no clear use case, there's no shared processes, there's no training, no ownership, quality control, no connection to existing tools that staff are using currently, and there's no way to easily measure the results.
And that's why AI adoption, sometimes, people say, oh yeah, great, we've got AI, but it's just more of a novelty thing. Just something people talk about, but doesn't really change a business's culture and the way they do things. They try it once, get an average result, and well, the response wasn't great. I can do better, and then don't use it again.
Precisely. So it's not the businesses that have the best prompts that are going to win. It's actually the ones that have the best workflows, the best processes, the best systems.
Fantastic. So why AI should work inside existing tools? So now we talked about MCPs and APIs. They're essentially a way of connecting other tools within your business to these AI tools. So Microsoft, if we think about Microsoft themselves, their approach is powerful because AI is being brought into tools people already use. So think about your Teams, your Excel, Outlook, Word, Copilot, Copilot Studio.
So this matters because most people don't really want to be using some other softwares or using a different dashboard. If AI lives inside the softwares and inside the normal workflow they currently use, then they're going to use it. Otherwise, people probably forget to do it.
So, an example, if a lead arrives by email, AI should help inside the email. If the team manages the jobs in a spreadsheet, AI should summarize, update, or analyze those spreadsheets. Sales activity happens in the CRM. It should help with the notes, next steps, and follow-ups, etc., etc. Um, uh, your mindset needs to almost change when we're talking about this, right? It should be about um, where does our team already work, and how can we improve that, as opposed to what AI tool should we buy today. So I guess the next kind of thing we want to talk about is practical AI agent examples that you could create and that might be useful for you. So if we think about an estate agency, an AI assistant would write a property description, right? If you're going to sell a property, but an AI agent style workflow, what could that look like, Josh?
So that instead could look at any kind of new valuation inquiry coming in. It could then summarize that inquiry, check the postcode, check the property type, draft a response to that inquiry, and suggest perhaps relevant local content to send to that back to that inquiry, adds that inquiry to the CRM tool, and adds a reminder to somebody's calendar or puts an event in someone's calendar to call that new inquiry that's come in.
Brilliant. Okay, so look, that's a good solid example. Let's move on. So here's a simple model that you can remember. Now, this is a basic AI use case. Explain this, summarize this, give me ideas, rewrite this. If you're thinking along those lines and that's how you use AI, that's great. That's the first step. That's for individual productivity, quick help, first drafts, and learning. Now, that's the asking stage. The act, where you act, the acting stage, is where AI starts to help complete useful tasks. And we've talked about that already. So drafting a quote, preparing a proposal, summarizing a call. That's for local businesses starting to use AI a bit more seriously and repeatable tasks and but human reviewed outputs. There's always need to be a human reviewing these things. And that third and final stage
Is the automation. This is where AI becomes part of a workflow. This is where it might be handling leads, reporting, customer onboarding, reviewing review management, content repurposing, follow-up sequences, etc. And this is best for businesses that already have clear processes, systems, standard operating procedures, businesses that have good data, good human oversight, and defined rules.
amazing. So look, if your local business is still at the ask stage, think about the act stage first before you get to the automate stage. And don't automate too early either, because ultimately not everything should be automated immediately. Some areas might need that human judgment. You don't want to lose the thing that you might be good at for your business, right? So just be careful, specifically with things perhaps.
Yeah.
What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, definitely don't automate too quickly. And there's been numerous examples of businesses where they've automated tasks with AI and it's not produced a great result, especially when there's not a human in the loop.
Absolutely. So look, governance questions that you might need to think about before you use an AI in a workflow. Ask yourself, what information can the AI access? What should it never do? Who reviews the output? What happens if the answer is wrong? Do you have a control in place? Is customer data being handled safely? Is the process documented as well? So it should speed up good judgment, not replace it.
Cool. So next is the local business AI agent readiness checklist.
Fantastic. So what's the first step?
So
Would you say?
first step one would be to pick one workflow. So choose one process that is repetitive, time consuming, somewhat valuable, or more valuable, but if you're just starting, maybe not the most valuable task you do, easy to define and currently handled manually. So a good starting point for this might be any kind of lead follow-up, any kind of quote preparation, review replies to your Google reviews or your Trustpilot reviews, drafting up proposals based on your existing kind of processes, customer onboarding. If you have a set process of bringing customers on board now, why not use an AI agent to help with this onboarding? Weekly reporting, any kind of monotonous reporting that could be automated, connect. So, for example, we have a MCP that we can link to our tracking software, and every week it can give us an update and say these keywords have moved up, these keywords have moved down, and that could help us take action.
Brilliant. Step two, map out the current process. So Where does the work start? Who handles it? What information do they need? What gets copied and pasted, etc.
Next step through would be to identify the data. So AI may need website content, it may need FAQs, pricing sheets, service pages, past proposals, email templates, CRM fields, call transcripts, brand, tone of voice, customer reviews, all this kind of stuff.
Step 4, define the output. So you need to be very specific. A weak instruction would be something like help with inquiries, but you need to, be a bit more specific. So draft a helpful reply to new inquiries using our service information, ask for missing details, suggest the next step, and mark whether this lead looks high, medium, or low priority. Would be a better example.
Step 5 is always keeping a human in the loop, particularly for customer replies, anything customer facing really, pricing, legal things, financial matters, sensitive complaints. Yeah, as I said, basically anything that's public facing.
Yeah. Step 6, measure the result. We always forget this phrase, don't we? What was it?
What gets measured
Gets done.
What gets managed get measured. What gets measured gets managed.
Basically, measuring things is important. Measure your time saved, response speed, lead conversion, etc. Ultimately, an AI workflow that nobody uses is obviously not transformative. You're just demoing it. So that's important. Now, what does this really mean for marketing? So AI agents will absolutely change how marketing gets done. It's not just about generating copy and metadata and content for your website. It's about creating systems around your content. So turning a podcast into a blog post, we've actually do that already.
Mhm.
So every time we publish a blog post, we've created a website which automatically feeds and gets pinged. So the transcript is then automatically generated and published on the website with frequently asked questions, key points, and you can actually check that out for yourself by just looking at our website. And please let us know what you think, because it's been transformative, I think, because we used to spend so much time on that. So marketing-podcast-local-businesses.com.
Catchy.
Very catchy. So marketing podcast, localbusinesses.com, but a hyphen in between each word.
Yes. So outside of those great points there, where turning a podcast into several different pieces of content, you could also use some sort of agent for your SEO. AI can help identify content gaps. It can help summarize competitor pages, generate briefs, and repurpose internal knowledge. So you could have some sort of weekly report sent to you from an agent that's doing this kind of checking. And but yeah, the business still needs some expertise to review and execute on the recommendations of the agent.
Absolutely. So look, this is a huge opportunity to make marketing more consistent. So make sure you execute well and consistently.
Cool. So takeaways, the main takeaways of today's episode. So 10 takeaways all in all.
Yeah.
First 5 are: AI is moving from assistants to agents. The real opportunity is therefore workflow improvement. That was number 2. Number 3 is most businesses are still at stage 1. They're still just using it to ask questions and using it as a kind of basic assistant. Number 4 is stage 2. The agents is the best starting point for local businesses, is where you kind of look at an existing standard operating procedure or process and to get them to act on your behalf, essentially. And point 5 is the data quality that you're providing your agent is super, super important.
Absolutely. If you listen to the second 2 episodes ago, we talked about something called context protocol. I can't remember. That's bad. But give that a listen. It's really cool. Anyway, takeaway number 6: AI should fit into the tools your team currently uses. No need to get new tools. Number 7: keep humans in control. Always have that human in the loop, especially for all important decisions. Number 8: start with one repeatable workflow. That's a baby step. Number 9: measure it to see if it saves you time and improves results. There's no point doing it if it doesn't give you benefit. And lastly, AI rewards these businesses with clear process. If you don't do it, other businesses and competitors will. They'll have lower costs. They'll end up being able to charge lower, and they'll take your business. I mean, that's just one example, right? So, if you do one thing this week, pick one workflow and complete the sentence. Every time insert blank happens, we currently insert blank, and the outcome we want is insert blank. So every time a new inquiry comes in, we currently reply manually when someone has the time, and the outcome we want is fast, accurate response that moves the person towards booking. Then ask, can you summarize it? Can you draft it, classify it, remind someone, prepare the next step, update the system? That's exactly what you need to be thinking about. AI agents are not only for big enterprises, they're for local businesses as well. You can apply this on a smaller scale. Start with, if you're really interested in, I would look at Copilot Studio and Claude Cowork as kind of starting points if you want to get a bit more technical.
Yeah. Let's just start simple, pick a workflow, just one, clean up the data, get the humans involved, and build from there.
Yep. And if you want help making an AI ready website, automate your kind of, or not, I say automate, but be AI ready from a search engine perspective and a generative engine optimization perspective, marketing systems, be more AI ready, then do let us know.
Thanks very much for listening. Please do give us a follow, a review, and share this episode with another business owner.